Welcome to this episode of Strong Perspectives Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong. I'm here with my brothers, Jaquari and Damon Armstrong. We have a special guest tonight, Andre Mullins of Lefrak Queens, New York, baby.
You already know. You're ready.
Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Yeah,
Thank y'all for having me, man.
I basically want everybody to know that I look forward to this one because Andre and myself, we go way back in quality time. You feel what I'm saying? So, hopefully we'll have we will. We're going to have a great one tonight. I want y'all to tune in and I want y'all to pay attention to every word because this is what we do.
Yes.
I'm going to introduce everybody and then I'm going to do some house cleaning. Damon, how you doing today, brother?
I'm blessed, man. Glad to get through this day, man. Looking forward to the next. Man, why don't y'all tell me to take off them glasses, man?
Wow. What's wrong with the glasses?
You didn't see the safety pin in them joints, man?
No, Hey,
and we wouldn't if you understand that, brother.
Yeah, listen. When nobody paid attention till you said something.
Yeah.
Jaquari, how you doing today, brother?
I'm fair, man. I'm not asking for much, man, and I'm not receiving a lot, brother. And that's fine with me.
Andre Mullins, how are you, sir?
I'm blessed.
Love that.
I'm blessed. If you see me, I'm blessed. If you don't see me, I'm blessed. If you see me, I'm blessed.
How's your day going?
Good day today. Good day today.
Okay. Well, the three of us know you. And just in case people getting to know you.
You hear reverb?
I do too. I hear a little reverb. Everybody got their earphones in.
Yep.
You went out for a minute. Keith.
Well, good now.
Let me see if I can adjust this. Pardon me, folks.
You hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. But reverb for whatever reason. Why don't we do this? Turn your volume, guys. Turn your volume down a little bit. See if that'll work. How about now? Can everybody hear?
Yeah. Still there, but
It's still there, man. Jeez. Well. Let's
muted, Drake.
Let's try to. You muted, Andre. Let's try this, man. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try this. I'm gonna mute myself and see if y'all still hear the echo.
I don't hear any echo myself.
Am I echoing? Is it echoing? Yeah, there's some delay on my end. But hell, they ought to be used to that.
Let me try mine. See, I'm echoing too. I know it couldn't be Dre because Dre, you on mute.
Go ahead.
Okay. Jaquari?
Yeah. Is it me?
You got to hear the echo now?
I don't hear it now, dude.
Sheesh. Okay.
It is what it is, bro. Let's roll.
Let's just move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What them old country boys say? One monkey don't stop the show. Old country boys say, one monkey don't stop the show.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
If it's an echo, they just hear us twice. It's cool.
So it's good. It's good.
Everybody muted, man.
Yeah. You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You hear me now? Yeah. So thank y'all for having me, man. I really appreciate you. Thank y'all for having me, man. I really appreciate you. And you know, me and Dog, we go back way back. Me and Dog, we go way back because we were big Dog. So yeah. So my name is Andre Mullins. Andre Mullins. I like to say I'm a lover of life, right? So really, I got to start with that, right? So lover of life, love my people, love all the fam I've been blessed with. I love my wife, Nikki, my lovely wife, Nikki. I'm a father, I'm a husband. Sons Nigel, my daughter Nyla, Noah, and Nicole. Really blessed to have them as part of my life. So also, I'd rather y'all just talk, but because that thing's reverb is really getting me. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta fix it.
All right, what? This is what we'll do. You know, we'll try to make. Hold on. We'll try. Let's see if we can do it this way. Everybody mute. And then what we'll do is whoever's talking, they unmute themselves, and we'll go from there.
Gotcha. So give me what? Got you. So let me see. I'm trying to get using my phone real fast. It might help us. Because I want to hope it's not me. But yeah, so, you know, bring me on, man. Help me, push me in the water, big dog. Push me in the water.
All right, let's try this, bro. When I moved back to Pittsburgh, because I had to leave home, and I wanted to, just to spread my wings, and Pittsburgh was a familiar place. The summer that I moved back was the summer that I met you. As a matter of fact, I met you at the basketball courts. It might have been Trees Hall, if I'm not mistaken. No, the Field House, if I'm not mistaken. And I always understood your vibe, what kind of cat you was, man. Just for the whole, me. Let me be honest with you. When it came to cats from New York, right? New York folks, if you don't understand them, will come out the vibe or they're arrogant. But really and truly what they are is confident in themselves. You feel what I'm saying? First question, Dre, is because later on, once we solve this reverb problem, later on I need you to go back over, acknowledge your people. You know what I'm saying? So we can make sure that it's clear and concise. But how big was the change from New York to Pittsburgh?
Oh, man, that was a major change. And the worst part about it, like you said, that New York arrogance, right? So that New York arrogance where I went out there and just was kind of like jumping out the window, as I like to say. I was out there just with my chest out, like, oh, New York, I'm from New York. And even though I've been kind of well-rounded, been different places, by that age, you feeling yourself, that testosterone is rocking on you. You're feeling yourself a little bit. So I was out there just so nothing could happen to me.
Okay.
But I enjoyed it. But I love the change too, though, because you was away from home, so to speak. You know what I mean? Or you was away from home, right? So you're away from home, you're meeting people, you're hanging out, parties, just hanging out. So I liked it. I liked it, actually.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you told me that your mom encouraged you to go.
To Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
To Pittsburgh, yeah. Well, I wanted to go to Pitt because of like Tony Dorsett back in the days. And, I used to watch football a lot. So I used to I used to go for the underdog. So Penn State was supposed to be the big dog. So I used to start going for Pitt, the underdog. So later on, when it was time to go to school, I was like, oh, let me see what's up with Pittsburgh.
Okay.
There I landed.
I tell you, a funny note is New York and Philly cats don't really get along. It's a rivalry, but most of your friends is from Philly.
All my dudes from there, besides you, was from Philly for the most part.
Yeah.
Everybody was from Philly. Yeah,
well, hell, it's funny, man. I tell people all the time that when I went to Pitt, there's people from the Pennsylvania, state of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, D.C., Baltimore, and New York. That's y'all was well represented in that school. That's realness.
Yeah, Northeast. Yeah.
Damon Jaquari, you have any questions for the brother?
Well, think about it. When I first met the brother, man, he I knew, some cats from New York, man, but he was just seemed like a different type of cat, man. You know what I'm saying? From what I saw, he kept to himself. You know what I'm saying? But but when you turn around, there he was, in the mix. He knew how to be in two places at one time, man. And I thought that was real smooth.
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm
saying? Yeah, man. I was out. I'm just gonna be outside. I was gonna be outside. Period.
Yeah.
I was gonna be outside. So if I was gonna be outside by myself, if I was gonna be with the crew, I'm gonna be outside. I was gonna be outside. Always.
As a transplant, did you find yourself having? Did you find yourself trying to live up to what you thought people in this new area thought you might, be as a dude from New York or whatever?
No, for some reason I wasn't a New Yorker that wore New York on my sleeve, really. So my being was a certain way where I was gonna move a certain way, but I wasn't like New York. But I would be Lefrak. Oh, dang. Where you from, Lefrak? Where's that at? Lefrak. New York. Where's that at? New York. That's what I would say. So yeah, I wasn't really like that person. New York heavy. I'm from New York.
Yeah, but once you start talking, everybody knew where you was from. You know what I'm saying? He's got that accent. You know what I'm saying?
Only when I get excited too, though. Only when I get excited. If I'm not really excited or talking hype, you won't even know. They be telling me, you ain't from New York. That's what people tell me. You ain't from New York. I'm like, all right. Like, where you from? Like upstate? Upstate or something?
Did you find in some situations it kind of put you at an advantage?
Yeah, the what?
Did you find in some situations that it kind of put you in an advantage?
It could put you in an advantage, but since you think it's fool's gold, you could get lured into a trap. I mean, that's what it is. You think they slower, so you think they move faster. So you naturally move faster than New York. But you ain't no slicker than nobody else. You ain't no tougher than nobody else. So when it comes down to the nitty gritty, they're gonna do just like anybody else. So, but I found like you might be on a little hustle more than certain people. You know what I mean? Certain different hustles, because back then things wasn't like social media and everything where it was transcontinental. So it wasn't going across the USA fast. New York had a style. Philly had a style. Detroit had a style. But now people, social media and the web, it's cross styles.
Yeah, because I found, man, being a transplant in North Carolina and in Virginia, man, in the DC area, it's once people find out, especially that I represent all things Detroit or whatever, but I emphasize the fact that I was born there, but I wasn't raised there, but that's my hometown, so I don't have any like secondary football, basketball, or any sports teams, anything like that, but they kind of expect a certain attitude from me, man. I'm expected to be like ultra emotional, ultra aggressive, ultra, just everything you hear about, the city of Detroit. I'm supposed, before you know me, I'm supposed to represent it, especially where I'm living now. And I like to think myself as a self-styled mold breaker, man. Not saying that I don't have any of those attributes or whatever, man. But I'm not resting on those laurels, So as far as being a transplant, man, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's like being a black man, on a job or in a situation where you're the only black man and you got to represent all of us. It's not easy, man. It's really not.
But what's different when you go to college, like being at Pitt, everybody's a transplant. So if you had somebody from Pittsburgh on the yard, they was like minority. Everybody else that was living on campus, was a transplant. So we had each other in that regard. I've never met nobody like from Detroit that wasn't cool. Everybody from Detroit I ever met be cool. I'm like, man, you never met nobody from Detroit that's cool. I ain't cool. I ain't just saying that either. Y'all strong.
Yeah, but that's the media's depiction, man. I mean, like there's dangerous areas. I mean, shit, it's parts of Vatican City. It's not safe. So,
you say Vatican City.
Yeah. So the Godfather.
Yeah. They make a move.
All I know. I wasn't a transplant, but I visited. The first time I visited Pitt, man, the police wasn't no joke. That joint, man. I'm talking about they was beasting cats standing on the corner, and here I am, from Michigan. Can y'all hear me? Here I am, a cat from Michigan. I'm like, I'm gonna stand up for my rights, man. And we standing on the corner, and brothers is disappearing and getting slammed into the back of a truck. My brother Key kept me saying, "Hey man, move, man." I said, "Man, they can't make me move." He said, "Okay, man, look over there at the truck parked over there." I seen him pick this dude up and slam him in the back of that joint. I was like, "All right, dude, man, we can go on over here, man. About 2-3 blocks away. I'm good with that." That was my first experience in Pittsburgh. Man.
It's funny you brought that up. I forgot all about that, but that was true. They just be like, "Move, no, get in the van." Oh no, I'm out. I'm moving. They would put you in there. You'd be overnight.
Yeah,
you'd be overnight. You just got to do it overnight. I've been there once or twice. I ain't going front. I had to be over there once or twice overnight on the north side for all my Pittsburgh people.
I almost went to on some corn shit.
All right. Well, look. Let's get into the meat of this situation because that kind of threw us off kilter. But I think we back on where we need to be. So, Dre, look, your mom was a strong presence in your life. Can you describe how it was her raising you in Lefrak, and the perks of it, and also, do you think you fought against her teachings?
No, I was scared of my mom. Like I wasn't really scared of nobody, but I was scared of my mom. I ain't gonna lie. So I wouldn't, even though I would mess up, if I was trying to mess up and do something I had no business doing, I would try not to get caught. And I played, but I played, fairly. Like I wasn't jumping out the window because I didn't want to hear her. My mom be yelling, like she started going in, like ah. So my mom was like the strongest person I know, though. I swear to goodness, man. I seen this lady, man. My mom. We be out of the country, so my mom used to work for the airline, so she'll take me all over the world, right? Because we could fly for free. So sometimes we're not even flying with a lot of money with us. But I would see her just be like in another country and not hearing nothing, like really backing her down, screaming on him, like, nah, like it's going. Like, and I'm like, yo, chill, like we out here. Like they could just, she was like, nah, she would never back down for nothing. Like she gonna stand her ground. So she's like the strongest I knew and know in that regard. Like, and that's not because she's my mom. I just seen her. And anybody know it, my mom is strong-willed, very strong woman. So she had me like straight. You know what I'm saying? Okay. She had me real straight. And then we had a lot of exposure to family too. Shout out to my family if anybody's watching. We had a lot of family, so we used to all get to be around each other a lot. So it was a big, and I have a large family. My mom had 8 sisters, 9, including her 9 girls and 1 boy. So we had a large family. So we stayed tight on the weekends. And, it was just a big family thing. And my mom just took me places, exposed me to the world. And that exposure made me not really relate to like the world I was dealing with any given day. So I could come home and be like, I don't have I was privileged though. But if I didn't have, I really didn't care because I saw Ethiopia where dudes had flies in their eye and wouldn't even wipe them out. I'm like, yo, son's a fly, y'all. Do something with that. Do something. They be like, nah, you want a Pepsi? So to see that, I come back to America. So all that exposure made me be like, you know what? I didn't really appreciate it at the time. I never wanted to go. I don't want to go. I want to go outside, be with the fellas. You know what I'm saying? But she make me go.
Okay, well, do me a favor. Elaborate a little more on that, man, because that's interesting. The fact that you traveled the world with mother, and she made sure that you did that. What do you think how do you think it added to who you are, your character, how you sing? And you said you touched on it a little bit. Could you touch on it a little bit more?
Like I had basically I think it had an effect it had on me, just the exposure, seeing different things and realizing that you go places and people don't know nothing about the neighborhood you're from and don't care even more. So it made me in that regard say, oh, there's a world out here that nobody even knows about Lefrak City. Okay. But it also helped me in that she was able to make me go so I could have to see it. So then it became fashionable in a way. So, and I'm gonna come back to like the effect it had on me, but it became fashion because I would go to we used to wear Wallaby Clark, and my boys, if they listen, they let you know. I go to London to get my Wallabies. You know what I'm saying?
What?
I get my Wallabies in London.
That's real. I
got Louis Vuitton bag. I got that from Italy. You know what I'm saying? To tell you, I got a leather blazer, custom tailored cut. I'm coming through like what? So my mom, she exposed me, let me see that part of it too. And we just was time together, a lot of time together, me and her, just traveling the world. And also it made me not have to say I always had to be around my boys, always had to be in the neighborhood because I always was pulled away. And then she would never let me spend summers in New York. So as soon as school was out, until I was 16 or something, she made me go away, California. Then I would go to football camp. Then I would go to Maryland. Then I'll come back like a week before school and then go back to school. So I'd be like, well, I can't stay home in the summer. And she'd be like, it's nothing for a boy in New York to do in the summer but get in trouble. Like, if you sit home all day, you can't work yet. What you going to be doing? So she would make me go stay with my cousins. My aunts and them would let me, come over. And then I'd be over there. So I had a blessed upbringing in life. Best Christmases with her. Man, listen. I never wanted for nothing really. And it was times she was in a struggle. Sometimes I had it, sometimes I didn't, but I really wasn't on it like that. So
no doubt. So
that's a single mother putting in work, brother, for real.
She put in work.
Wow.
And look, and her work came into bear a whole lot of fruit, man.
The world.
Before we move on, let me ask you this. By you going away, did it have you, and I know you to be a loyal person, right? But your mom sending you away and bring you back, did it have you look at your friends and your environment a different way? I'm not talking about looking down on it. I'm talking about being able to sift through some of the things that get people caught up.
Yeah, it helped my decision making. Exactly. It helped my decision making. So now I can say, well, I'm not going to do that because I know there's more to life than this, right? I don't so sometimes it helped me with my decision making. But I always was that person that, I'm going to run with the group, I'm going to run with the team. But if it comes a circumstance where dudes want to do something I ain't with doing, I just ain't going to do it. No, I ain't doing that, son. I ain't doing that. Okay. Then we still were friends, but they know I ain't going down that alley. You know what I mean? But I think all of that experience that she gave me, exposure she gave me, and just not just wanting her to wild out on me, kept me honest. Because anybody know my mom, when she go in, she go in. And you know, God bless her. She passed away in May, but she was strong to that last moment, man. She did it her way. That's my thing. She did it her way. Period. Did it her way. And I'm just grateful for all she did for me, just all the strength she put in me, all the strength she modeled. She wasn't a back down. She wasn't backing down with nobody.
Jaquari, Damon, do you have anything in response to that to help this brother? Look, we always say, Jaquari always says this to our guests. Said it to Dre last night. This is a very heavy show. So, Damon, Jaquari, do you have anything for Dre from what he just said?
What I would say, man, now it makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Because we hung back in the day. You know what I'm saying? We know each other. You know my wife, you know what I'm saying? All that. And you were somewhat of a mystery because you was always moving on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, I turned around, everybody told me, where Dre at? He gone. But then you turn back to the right shoulder, there you are. You know what I'm saying? You was always an independent brother, man. Now it makes sense, man. You know what I'm saying? Now it makes sense to me. And always cool. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen you in no drama. You know what I'm saying? Never seen that, and you always made me and my wife feel comfortable in your presence, man. So that comes from, you know what I'm saying, I guess seeing the world, man, and your experience.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but I definitely attribute it to that. It has to be that, you know what I mean? And just my neighborhood was the same thing. So my life, if you look at the macro part, me just going to different countries and things of that nature, that's what was like the macro. But the micro, within my own little community, I lived in a community that was like kind of the melting pot of the 5 boroughs when people started moving in. Like a lot of us, I'm like second generation Lefrak City, particularly the Black community. What I mean by that is Lefrak City is not a project, a housing project. It's like apartments. They say live a little better. So like live a little better than the projects. That's what it was. So we first moved in. When I first moved in, it was real nice. But then over the years, it became like a hood, like a real hood. But the thing about it that you had either people from like houses, like Queens, Hollis, different parts, Bronx, that moved to Lefrak. So people from Bronx will move to Lefrak. People from Brooklyn will move to Lefrak. People from other parts of Queens will move to Lefrak. So everybody from Lefrak was from another part of New York too when they came.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was a melting pot. So we had different styles within Lefrak itself that I think makes us a unique community. But now it's generational that our kids and our kids and our kids' kids. But when we first was coming up, this family moved in, they from Brooklyn. This family moved in, they from Brooklyn, but they from Flatbush. This other family moved in. So everybody in the park was from somewhere else. So that'd be like a different flavor to that community in itself. So put all that together, it's like I've always been around individualism because everybody had their own style. And then New York was like that back in the days, period.
I've had conversations with friends of mine, man, over the years, and we talk about travel, and I would stress the importance of having a passport, man, and just the independence and the feeling of not being locked in, man. That it gives you. You can make your moves, as you see fit. Things here at home in America go south. I always have an option to seek elsewhere.
I'm exploring them options now. Like, where's another place that you can live, like possibly, just to give it a try.
My brother Damon has been emphasizing Ghana. I'm like, well, yeah, okay. I can at least come visit.
That's what I say. I'm kind of stay close though. I'm like, I don't
But
want
here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and that's a great choice because the nation of Ghana has always reached out to us in the States.
to.
I mean, always reached out to us. Come back. You know what I mean? We welcome you back.
Come home and bring money. Let's build something.
You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
look, let me do this. Let me do some house cleaning real quick. This is a Strong Perspective podcast, and I apologize for what occurred in the first 10 minutes of the reverb and all that. But look, you see, we finished strong though. It's no more echo, so you're hearing us loud and clear, and we're doing what we do, and that's what it is. We're giving you all the perspective possible. So understand, we have a YouTube channel by the same name. Let your people know. Go and like, share, and subscribe. Especially like and subscribe. Because what it does is it gives us a chance to get to other people like yourselves. Whoever comes across this podcast. Because we talk about, look, we're talking to a brother. You understand that we have not, it would take us at least 3 shows to really touch on Andre's full life so far. And I'm not exaggerating. Because I know he has 2 shows just by my interaction with him. You understand what I'm saying? So it might be more than that. This man has led a colorful life, period. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that I can honestly say, and this is the truth about it, is he has been able to adapt and learn and also enrich whoever he comes across. That's that guy. It's the truth. I don't, y'all know me. I don't soup anything, but that's the guy's honest truth. This is why I instantly like this man, because I love you. See, I always go after energy more than anything. I didn't call it energy before when I was a youngin', but I know that it is. You know what I'm saying? So, before we go on, because I want to ask you is, with your experience, Dre, I'm gonna get a little more personal with this because I need you to really get into this. With your experience as far as life is concerned, how did it affect being with your wife and your children and your siblings? If you could elaborate a little bit on that.
Oh, shoot.
Hit you in the head, didn't I? That's what I'm talking about.
No,
That's what we need, dog.
I think very deeply.
Yes, sir.
In a few minutes, a teacher will begin to speak. Well, it just helped me. I got married late, right? So I got married older.
Ain't no such thing, man. It ain't no such thing.
No,
Greg.
not
Go
in a
ahead.
bad sense, though. It really is not in a bad sense, but I was older. I was older when I got married. So by the time, but first of all, let me preface this. Me and my wife met years ago, like back at Pitt. And, I loved her from that. I loved her from that. And life went on, you know what I'm saying? Life went on. We, went our ways in life. But then I used to always be like, only one ever got away. That's no disrespect to anyone else. You know what I mean? But only one ever got away. And through the blessing of God, we came back into each other's life. You know what I'm saying? But I like now it's been a blessing just because, you're more mature when you're old. Hopefully just a little bit more mature. So by the time I became a father and a husband, I was already chilled out. Back in the days, dog, I was going out every night.
No doubt.
Every night I was out. Monday, they got the football game on. Let's go over there to the bar. Tuesday, they got ladies' night drinks. Wednesday, they got ladies' night over there. Every night I was out. So by the time I got married, I exhausted all that. So it wasn't no need to feel like I needed to be out on the street or all like that. By the time I had kids, I already wanted to be really, I like being the Costco's dad, going to the activities and picking them up from school. So yeah, it helped me in every, just my examples on two like on different levels helped me with it though. Like seeing positive families, seeing y'all brothers was ahead of me. And y'all have y'all kids back in the 90s, things of that nature, the early 2000s, seeing that y'all was raising children that are grown now, seeing my boys that I all grew up with being fathers and stuff like that. So it was like, oh, we came out good cloth. Some of us that had father figures, but some of us that didn't, it was good cloth. So I was always proud of like my brothers that from my hometown and my brothers that I met at the pit and so forth that, oh, they fathers, you know what I'm saying? So I just was around that type of character, and I just felt loved it and fell naturally into it. So man, I can't everything. I'm just blessed, man. Like they say, God take care of fools and babies. I ain't a baby, you know what I'm saying? So I just, what's up? But dog, you know me,
Yeah. Look, hey, look, I know you. This is why I'm asking the questions that I'm asking you, brother.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Okay. Here's one. We talk about it now. My brother Damon always say he always saw you dolo, Pittsburgh, right? And that was pretty much the same if you wasn't with me or with Bill, right? And a couple other cats, but really mostly you was with me and Bill until Dwayne and Pooch came up. Them was your aces right there. And
those guys,
I was fascinated by
that's the A team.
Like,
the A's had back in the day.
I'm serious, man, because this is the thing about it is it made me understand, and I want you to elaborate on, because I know you got other friends that you're close to, so
absolutely.
I'm not trying to X them out, but what I'm trying just by those are the guys I can name right now, but to see your interaction with them dudes, it showed me something, another side of you, and that side was, yo, I got loyalty to people where I come from. You know what I'm saying? And them two guys were some talented brothers, man. You know what I'm saying?
Very talented.
Very talented. And they came up, they spent a whole summer with you. And talk about them and talk about other cats that you're close to, if you can.
Man. So we always was running like so me and Dwayne, we've been running since 6th grade, 5th, 6th, 7th grade. Me and Pooch in 6th, 7th. We always in junior high school. Me and Pooch in junior high school, all out. But there's a whole crew of us. We was back in high school, like junior high school, we was called the Tap Tap Crew. You know what I mean? In 61, I had 61 to my people out there. You know what I'm saying? Linden cookies. I like the chocolate chip. Some people like the lemon. But nevertheless, we grew up back then. Like we were eating the chocolate chip cookies and back then. But there's a whole mob of us though. Some of them are down. I'm about to get with some of them tonight. It was a mob of us. But so me, Pooch, and Dwayne would always be tight, hanging out as well. But it was so many of us, man. They called us the 72 posse because it says like 72 of us. So it was so many of us. So any of those crews interlocked at any time. So it was like an amoeba of friends. Like today is us three together. Some different segments of it all the time. But those are my brothers. And me and Dwayne used to be real tight, like every day. It's Pooch too. Like we was three the hard way. But it's hard for me to put it that way because there's so many of us though.
No doubt.
So if any of the other ones would have came too, you would have seen the same flow. You know what I'm saying? But we just came up together outside every day together, experiencing life together, the different things that was happening in life, fashion, girls, all that, just experiencing all that, growing all together in that. So had a lot of fun. They came up to Pittsburgh. We was up there selling shirts and stuff, doing us.
Oh, yeah.
Doing us.
Okay.
Doing us. But yeah,
speaking of
Lefrak City right there.
Speaking of selling shirts, and then we're going to go into your career. I want you to really talk about, because I was there when I think you came up with the concept when it was just you and Dwayne and Pooch, right? But when you started Ofafo, you talked to us about it. I remember it was a time when we sitting there, we had Nats, now named Arts in
Yes.
Pittsburgh. And you started talking about what you wanted to try. You wanted to sell T-shirts, but you wanted the T-shirts to mean something. You wanted a concept that meant something. Can you elaborate on what's going on with your brand? Because, hey, ladies and gentlemen, this man got a brand that's been going on 30 years now, ain't it, bro?
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
elaborate on it? You see the hat.
I'm turning. I gotta get my camera action right.
You want to
But
elaborate on it, Dre?
yeah, so FIFO, it's funny you say that. So yes, go back to me, D and Pooch. And Kev Miller was with us around us then. Even Keith Young was around, but we had YOB. So it was Young Organized Blacks. So we came out with the Brothers and Sisters Together t-shirts. Because we wanted shirts that meant something. Especially that was the early 90s. So, everybody was kind of conscious, trying to, like, it was more conscious. You had a wave of consciousness saying red, black, and green, back to Africa, X-Clan, the red, the black, the green, Tribe Called Quest. Everybody tried, had that flow. So that was like us just joining that flow, that feeling that was going on at the time. So we came up with Young Organized Blacks. Then we made the t-shirt Brothers and Sisters Together. Then they had, like a poem or a story in the back. Then years later, we stopped doing that. We was doing some other little t-shirts. But I think I was in Pittsburgh, and I was working juvenile detention. And then, we just started seeing in the world, it was like a shift. It was like violence was now rising to the top. Like, so where at one time it was a little bit more fun and pride and things for our community. Next thing you know, violence was the forefront of it. And you saw it around you every day. You start looking at the news. And I'm working in juvenile detention at the time. That's why I started juvenile detention. So I'm seeing the kids come in with charges that are like murder, gang stuff, going on. So, and I see their parents coming to the visits. And I'm like, yo, we need, like, can't say it's the parents' fault. Because that don't change what we're dealing with. Just because you say it's the parents' fault, yeah. So what if you say it's the parents' fault? That don't change that this kid needs opportunity, right? So he's like, okay, maybe do a file for, like, I want to say, like, how can we make some institutions? We need our own money to build our own institutions so that we could help our community, right? We could have the schools look the right way. Maybe have the banks that we could get a fair chance at a mortgage, get a fair chance and a fair interest rate. Maybe have the hospital that's going to treat us fine, regardless if we have the highest Medicare, Medicaid, or health insurance. So the t-shirts was just a vehicle to pump a message. So so we came up with the concept of FIFO, one for all, all for one. It was like, oh, we need a concept that speaks to what we're trying to do. So we started pumping no FIFO shirts. So he's out there, Big Dog. I remember Big Dog, you went with the Stop the Violence shirts? You went over there, what's that school over there, Peabody? Dog, and yo, Dre, they want the shirts over there around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, and now we're doing it. It says hoodie season. So, shoot, the countdown is on. You're going to be able to go back out and get your hoodies, your hats, and it's going to be ongoing, not stopping. We're coming out and just go to the FIFO, get your gear, represent it, put it online, wear it. But we have something like called Acts of FIFO too, right? We want to say Acts of FIFO. Like, we want to basically highlight people that do good things like that, because I think it's too much negativity that we kind of watch the news is negative. It's like everything we highlight, but that's the minority of things that's taking place. That's not really the majority of outcomes, and not people getting shot in the street. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. So we need to, in these days and times, we need some positive feedback.
Okay.
Eradicate and eliminate phrases like charge you to the game, right?
Say that again.
I said eradicate and eliminate phrases like charge you to the game, or that thought over that.
Exactly. Because at that day, that's a loss, man. It's a loss. Somebody's really hurt and pain. just say charge it to the game. Like that's a cop out in a sense. Like in a way, it's ownership, but we got to do better. We just got to do better by ourselves. But we got to start highlighting. Most people are not out here doing. Most people out here doing the best they can. They ain't trying to hurt nobody in the process.
Right.
A lot of times we magnify that. Oh, we messed up as a community and all these things. But most people, we have it, and it's a disease we need to cure ourselves of. But we need to start also acknowledging that most of us out here with good intentions.
I feel that. Do you have a website that everybody can go to, Dre?
Yes, sir. www. Don't come up. www. OFA for OFA AFO 1995.com. OFAFO1995.com. So, like I said, hoodie season, the hoodie's coming out, the countdown's on. We'll let you know when it's going down. I'll let everybody know. And thank you. I would take this time to say thank you for everybody that ever supported, continued support. We are so appreciative. Words can never express the enthusiasm y'all showed, the loyalty you've shown. You talked about loyalty a couple of times on this show. Okay, we can never really even express how much we appreciate y'all championing us, wanting it just as much as us, supporting us in the process. So we love y'all, man. I love y'all personally. I love y'all, man. And we're gonna do it for us. I mean, all of us.
I'll be honest with you. It is a great product because I got it. You know what I'm saying? And I've always, because Andre has a great head on his shoulder. You know what I mean? And that's the thing you got to always understand is there's nothing wrong with supporting people that you know.
Yeah, I mean, start somewhere.
Just like when I always come on every show, like and subscribe. It takes you 5 seconds to like and subscribe to this situation. Not because we're trying to eat off of you. No, you showing your support for us. You know what I mean? Yes. I'm not taking it personal if you decide not to do it. I'm not. But my point is, sometimes if you just get caught up on things, you don't have a good reason not to be that way. You feel me? See, that's the whole point. You don't have to have a reason to do a nice thing. You know? Because me personally, your clothing brand has great quality material clothing, and the message is great. And you can rock it in a semi-casual situation, man, and you can just go. Look, it is what it is, guys and ladies. Go check it out. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes. We're gonna be out there for y'all. We're gonna be out there so you can get it. I appreciate that, big dog, for sure.
No doubt.
It's about that concept. Clothing's the vehicle, but it's about one for all for one. Like that's not we ain't going about it on some like we trying to we want to have an opportunity and have it give us an opportunity, but what it means we want that to resonate. You know what I mean? And be part of how we approach each other. So we hoping that when you see somebody they got a 5 for 1, 1 for all for one, you be like, you know what, that person might be on it like that. Exactly. And that's no pressure, but it's just if it's putting that energy out there, that's the energy we want out here.
You know what I mean? And another thing, when you look at it, just by you talking about it though, Dre, here's the crazy thing. You kind of put it in perspective when it came down to 1 for all for one. Your career. I put in the notification that it's been 28 years. You want to elaborate on just in case anybody who's not aware, Andre has been working in the juvenile justice system for 28 years. Even
Nice.
though he looked like he's 17 years old, he's been there
Woo.
28 years. Andre, you want to?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
You want to elaborate on that?
Well, so you one of the people that got me into it. So my big dog back in the days, when I met him, he started working at Schumann Center, which is a detention center in Pittsburgh. So that's the first time I even did the knowledge to like, oh, I knew Spofford in New York, but I was like, oh, juvenile detention. Okay, he worked there. Then another one of our buddies started working there shortly after. Big dog named Big Bill. He said him earlier. It's me, him, and Big Bill. So Big Bill started working there. So Big Bill told me like, yo, man, you should come work in detention with me, man. You should come work in detention with me. I'm like, I ain't going to work with them badass kids. Well, I ain't doing that. I'm not going to do that. Then he'd say it again, like periodically, yo, you should come work with me, man. I'm telling you, I think you'd be good at it. I'm like, no, I ain't working with them badass kids. Then the Rock him hit me. I reached in my pocket. All I found was lint. Now I got to give you some presidents or something like that. He ain't say it like that. But I was like, oh, y'all still hiring with them badass kids? And he said, yeah. So that's why I went over there to the Schumann Center in Pittsburgh, started working there. And I was like, oh, this is home. Like, I could do this. It was like sitting in the benches, like around on the benches around the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, oh, I could do this. And as I continued to do it, it was providing opportunity for me, but I liked it. It had a knack for it. I had a knack for it. So I did that in Pittsburgh for like 5 years. And I left and said, I'm going back to New York. I went back to New York, and I wasn't even had no intentions of working detention. I got to New York, and for some reason, I said, let me apply for detention just to have something to fall back on. I was doing, clothes and other stuff. And then they called me, and I did the interview. So detention called me again. So I went. So I was working at Spofford. I worked for the city of New York in detention for 18 years. So I started as a line staff, and I made it like up to the levels of like deputy director of a facility and director of operations or programming at a facility in their detention facilities. And I did training in there and a lot of different things. Then I moved down to Maryland.
Look, listen, before you go on, I was about to say, don't minimize what you've done when you was in the system, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Your achievements there. But go ahead.
Well, I will say this, though. I will go back and say this because it's not about the resume. It's about I love the population that we serve it. So my success all came about from the population, really. And I grew up in detention. So the man I see today, I tell people all the time, the man you see today grew up in detention. That raised me. That, between my mom and everything like that. But as an adult, seeing like working with these young men and young women and the people that showed them love working with them, that really had a big effect on who I am as a person. But the love for the population made it a mission more so. So that's why I do it. I love it because I love the population. It's our kids, man. I was in Pennsylvania, it was our kids. I was in New York, it's our kids. I'm in Maryland, it's our kids. Everywhere I've gone in detention and looking detention, it's our kids. So I'm like, okay, they're here. I love them. I'm here to help them any way I can. I'm going to give them my all while I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And anybody know that work with me, they know that I came in and I worked with those kids. I wasn't in there, jailing them. I never jail them.
Well, all right. Well, let me ask you this then. You know what I mean? Then, Jaquari, I know you can chime in on this, but here's my thing.
Well, if you want to give her a call, see if that
I am when I worked in law enforcement, period, I was of mind of what you and Jaquari are about, right?
Marco, how?
Are we on the same page? And here's how I thought. I understand that you may not.
You're not all female, we understand.
You may not have the opportunity. Talk about the young man. You may not have the opportunity as everyone else, right? But you still have a choice in what you do. Did it ever affect how you felt toward the kid? Especially if there was a serious crime that they were in. If the kid said, oh, I didn't have a dad, so I did this. Did you look at it that way, or did you just look at it as, okay, what I'm going to do is do the best for you? or did you say, well, look, did you, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, and I'm not trying to whatever, right? But this is how I always thought, just to bring this question home. People still have a choice, no matter how hard their life is, right? People still have a choice in what they do. I'm talking about harming somebody more than anything. Stealing, it is what it is, brother, especially if you're trying to if you're trying to survive. You feel what I'm saying? But when you do physical harm to someone, do you still feel the same way, Dre, or is it more or less you proceed with caution because of how serious the crime was? I hope I wasn't too confusing with that.
No. Well, I would say this. I kind of meet everybody where they at, so I don't like equate the crime. Like I don't like even put the two together when I see the kid. I think everybody got the capability though, so I'm gonna be mindful of how I interact with any people in that situation, right?
Okay.
So I gotta be, but that's like being awareness wherever you go. You got to have that awareness. But I never really look at the crime. But there's like I worked in this for all them years, 28 years. I might have only seen met 5 kids out of that. All the kids that maybe 10,000, more than that, maybe more than that. I only met like 5 kids where I was like, yo, this kid is like different. Like, yo, he might be real far down the road beyond, anything we could do for him. Anybody can do for him. And those 5 kids actually did perpetuate violent crimes once they left against people. But they just had that to the core. Now, I've met kids that had violent crimes and were accused of some homicides, all the stuff. You know what I'm saying? But they were, it wasn't no type of thing. They were good. It was unfortunate what they did, but that didn't make them, I didn't never see them as bad people or, treat them a certain way based on their charge. I didn't even put the two together, though. I wouldn't even put the two together. Like, I'm working with the kid. I wasn't thinking about the charge. I'm thinking about the person that's before me. And that's just kind of how I move through life. I don't be thinking about all those other circumstances. So with the kids, I just work with them. You know what I'm saying? But I recognize the mindset too, though. Like, so it's easy. It's easy. You didn't walk out some days looking to be part of a violent crime. But you get caught up in that rapture. You just outside. And if you got a weapon and stuff happens, the spontaneity sometimes itself could cause a reaction that leads to, oh, you shot somebody. You be like, damn, I ain't want to shoot nobody. I've just had kids say, oh, somebody got hit. Like, I wasn't even trying to hit nobody. Like, genuinely, like, I wasn't even trying to hit nobody. I was just trying to bust my gun. I was just trying to let them know, So a lot of times, man, it's that weapon is just so absolute. Yeah. So if you have a second of that, it'll take a second to get a lifetime, basically. It'll take a life. So it's like, 1 second of being out of control throws it off. And the kids with guns, you can't have a good outcome. Because even adults with guns could catch them at the wrong moment, the wrong day, can end up in a situation. But if you're talking about an adolescent with a gun, nothing good can come from that.
You know what I think needs to be highlighted, man? Out of 28 years, over 10,000 kids, only 5 that you just couldn't reach. That's a good ass percentage, man.
No, I couldn't reach more than that. I ain't say I reached everybody. I only met 5 kids where I was like, to the core, this person seems like they a little off, like they a little evil, for lack of a better term. I'm just trying to be nice, but no, evil. Like, yo, this dude wants to hurt people. He takes pride in hurting people. That's his lust, one way or another. But
that's my point. That's a small percentage, man.
Very small. That's what I'm saying. Very small.
When you look at, not to cut you up, but when you look at how we are viewed, you know what I'm saying, as minorities in this country, you listen to the talking heads and the pundits talk, it's vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Not, 95% is like you describing, and the rest is, you know what I'm saying? And that's how, how the news and all these people choose to see you know what I'm saying, juveniles or whatever. They irredeemable. They can't be saved. But you said out of 28 years, you said 5 cats that basically was evil and couldn't be, reached.
Well, you
You know
even
what
be
I'm
saying
saying?
yourself, you could be the nicest person. You'd be like, he's a piece of shit. Like you be even yourself. You'd be like, yo, this dude, you know what? Life will take care of you. Well, unfortunately,
Right.
you're gonna have to hurt somebody for life to catch up to you. But these are dudes that they was different. They was cut different. But other guys,
Right.
other kids are just caught up, man. It might be the trauma, but they might be just caught up with their neighborhood stuff, like the gangs and stuff. You know what I mean? But back in the days, they used to fight, so you could walk away from it. But it was always
I don't
competition. Competition that comes from just our natural willingness to compete. But now it's just deadly.
I don't think people really realize just how easy it is to get caught up.
Easy, man. I
As,
mean, it's
as a youngin, you feel me? As a youngin, you 15 years old, man. You trying to figure out where you fit in at, man.
any given day, only by the grace of God, any given day, I could have been sitting in there with the charge, like whether
Right.
doing it, but less likely doing it, but being around somebody that did it.
Right. And
You know
then
what I
and
mean?
then you got people chirping. You got people chirping talking about, you know what, you just like your boy who just got locked up.
Mm-hmm.
People that you trust. You know what I'm saying? Then you start believing what people say. You know what I'm saying? And that's a hard thing at 15, 16, 17 years old to try to reconcile, man. You know what I'm saying? So I get it, man. But after Decoy, because y'all had this thing in common. After Decoy talk, I want to ask you a question, man, based on something I learned about you tonight.
Well, I don't really have much to say, man. It's just I just want to add in the fact that it takes a certain mentality, man, to be around a person who has committed a violent act and still want to see this person progress. A lot of the majority of society would tell you, to either slaughter this person, slaughter by state, or freaking lock them away for the rest of their lives. But the reality, especially here in Northern Virginia, is the fact that it's not a lot of young people who commit violent acts, man, who are going to be gone forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really approach what I do, man, and dealing with young people, man. My approach is like, look, I'm trying to help to develop good neighbors, man. You never know what the man living next to you, next door to you, has done, and it doesn't really matter. Not today. It did probably 10 years ago when he wasn't as rational as he is today, when he doesn't have nearly as much to lose, when he didn't have nearly as much to lose back then as he does today. So that thought of safety isn't the first thing that like really crossed his mind when he was a young boy. But I emphasize, especially with my guys, man, whether you want to believe it or not, no matter how corny Strong is, Mr. Armstrong is, or how you perceive him to be, I was you, man. I was you. I just never got locked up. I was you, and if you do it right, if you recover right, you're gonna be me. You're gonna be me. Aspire to be me, man. It's okay. I don't have platinum chains. I don't have freaking Maseratis or freaking Phantoms or anything like that, man. But I'm comfortable, man, and I'm not ashamed of anything that I've done, even the bad stuff, because I've learned from it.
Absolutely.
I'm not ashamed of it, man. And there is a point where you can recover your life. You can recover your life, but it's gonna take work.
And I agree 100%. But that's why you got to really, like, when people just say this, I think like, as long as my kids are right, put your kids in the world with other kids. So if somebody don't have some type of commitment to the other kids, they can catch up with your kids. You know what I'm saying? Catch up with any of us. Our kids, us, anybody. So I always say, like, hey, no one has an obligation. I have no feeling about who those that give and don't give and other things of that nature. But I know when I'm in the detention facility and work I do, that I'm just blessed to do and just keep calling me. I try to talk, let kids know just first of all, I get it. First of all, I get it, man. You know what I mean? But I'm here for you, not against you. That's the first thing I tell you. I'm here for you, not against you. We are here for you, not against you. And then we build from there. I mean, a lot of brothers, like, they got to come in. Like, I got to come in tough because I don't know where I'm at. I heard stories about this place before I got here. So you got to get that trust and that consistency to break down that shell to find that real person and find out, like, oh, this dude is really a nice, smart. This kid's smart. He's a genius with this. I've seen kids be able to play the piano, hear something on the radio, go to play that shit, play right on the piano, and be like, I had no formal training.
Yeah.
You see, all the, like, even just to equate that, when I went to Pitt, athletically, I thought I seen athletic stuff. When I went to Pitt, dudes was like, when he jumped and just touched the ceiling, the high ceiling. I was like, nobody can touch that. You just do it. I'm like, so there's some greatness amongst all of us in so many different ways. In the detention, you see the same thing. That everybody told you, you heard the charge about the kid. He came in, he had to be a certain way. But as he got comfortable, felt the love, then the real person came out, the opportunity presented itself. And you were like, oh, that's a lovable young man. Like, he's a great young man. He just got caught up in the situation.
No doubt.
That's a lot of times, a lot of cases. There's a lot of cases like that. So, I love it. I love it. I used to tell the kids, like, I fortunately get paid to do what I love. They're like, Mo, you here for the check? I say, no, I'm here for the check, but I'm fortunate enough to get paid for what I love.
Yeah.
I don't get paid enough, though. So if anybody listening, I can always use some more dough for what I do. And if you're listening where I'm at, I can use more dough.
Yeah. All right, hey, David, before you go on, we at that point, you and Jaquari, I'm going to let y'all get your thing in, right? But y'all know how we do. We always acknowledge the comments. Kyle, we see you out there, brother. Thanks for the support. Corey, we want you on this show, man. Another talented brother. Yo, I met you through Andre. My man. You and Ron, y'all my people, man. For real. I'm looking at from YouTube, right? From YouTube, Rob Noxious, I believe. He had a comment. I want y'all to comment on this, but after you guys, we'll come back to it, but I want y'all to comment. It says, keeping fathers in the home is the single greatest thing that could be done, right? So let that marinate real quick. Damon, go ahead and ask Andre what you were going to ask, and Jaquari, if you have something, you go from there.
Well, two things, man. When you spoke about you and your mom and traveling the world and seeing different things, my first question to ask you, because you just said you spent a lifetime, working with young brothers and sisters, and all that. Based on your experience with your mom, because you know what people say, a woman can't raise a man. There's some truth to that to a certain extent, but in your situation, a woman showed a man the world. You know what I'm saying? How did you bring that perspective into the job that you do now? Because you're working with kids who ain't never left the block, dog. You know what I'm saying? And that's where they eat, sleep, and do whatever at, and they're trying to control that one space. But your experience is that there's a whole world out there. You know what I'm saying? And this cat's doing worse than you. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Worse than you. So how did you bridge that gap, man, and make that connection with those young cats that you work with, men and women? Because I'm assuming you work with women too, with young girls too, right?
Yeah, I work with young girls. Yes.
So based on your experience with your mom, which was a driving force that shows you the world as a black man, that was a hell of a thing to do.
Hell of a thing.
For a sister. You know what I'm saying? So how do you bridge that gap, man, to be able to connect with people that you work with?
Well, like I was saying, you start to recognize that they need exposure. Like, what people need is exposure. Like, exposure, just knowing that the world's bigger, I don't have to overrelate to my block. I know the world's bigger, so I don't have to overrelate to my box. So I don't have to fight you over the sneaker you stepped on. like, and want to go that far. Because I'm like, yo, dudes don't even have shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes is tall out here. Like dudes, like people out here in the world is in the struggle. I tell kids in detention, there's kids right now in many parts of the world that would love to be sitting in this detention facility than where they at right now. And unfortunately, there's kids from America, from the communities that we from, that would rather be in the detention center than be home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say, why they come back? Why they come back? Because it's safer in here than it's home. I got a more peace of mind in here than I got at home.
Yeah.
It's violent at home. Like,
yeah, Mr. Armstrong,
dealing with. So
Mr. Armstrong is going to tell me happy birthday. It's as simple as that. So Mr. Armstrong is going to tell me happy birthday.
Tell me happy birthday. When I call, somebody answers. I say, hey, Mr. Armstrong. Yeah. Mr. Armstrong says, what you need? What's up? There's so many levels to it. So it's really exposure, though. I think with any of us, I think the more that you are aware of, the better decisions you might make and the better choices you might make, because you have more frame of reference. But if you only have a small frame of reference, then you're going to respond with that small thought of peace of mind. And I was telling y'all about the girl that was on Scared Straight. She comes out to jail. The reporters are like, hey, how you feel about Scared Straight program? How you feel about being in jail for a day? She was like, jail? What you talking about jail? Everybody go to jail? What do you mean? I don't understand what you're talking about. They're like, you was in jail. She was like, but everybody go to jail. Like, my mother was in jail. My father's in jail. My uncle right here just came home from jail. My brother about to go to jail. So what are you talking about? Everybody go to jail. So the lady that was interviewing her said, I never been in jail. Then the people, we could tell people behind the camera, and they was like, I never been to jail. I never been to jail. And she was like, wow. Like, you could see her face just change. And you can go online and find it. If I remember the name, I would say it. You would see her just go, wow. I thought everybody went to jail. So imagine that's your frame of reference.
Right.
And you making decisions as you move around the world with that frame of reference. I'm going to get caught anyway. I'm going to go to jail. That's my destiny. That's just what you've been fed. And the lack of exposure to know that is different. So that's.
But you know what's so crazy about it? What's so crazy about it is, and you spoke on it earlier though, Drake, is the fact that you was exposed to different things. Even though you may have walked down that path to really feel what that young lady was feeling, you had other choices and you saw what those choices was. You understood those choices.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Look, and not really getting too complex with it. My point is this, man. Sometimes God blesses us, and I believe in God, people.
Absolutely.
God blesses us with the ability to sort through the madness. Feel me? To sort through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, we might partake in it anyway, but we sort through that madness. It's like, yo, this, point, example B is the place that I should walk to, but depending on the time of day, I might just pick A. But if I'm feeling good, I'm going to pick B. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Everybody is not afforded that.
No, I was blessed.
You and my brother.
I was blessed.
You and your brother, my brother Jaquari, understood that. And your patience to deal with those young men and women to say, hey, here's another choice that you can make. You know what I mean? Here's another choice that you can make.
My go-to line, man, was, when Cash was like comfortable with being in the situation they was, losing their freedom. And my go-to statement was, man, what if you live, man, till you 80 years old, man? You know what I'm saying? At some point, you're gonna have to address this shit, man. So do you want so each year in your life you want to be locked up? You gonna do that shit till you 80 years old? You know what I'm saying? At some point, they're gonna be like, you're a menace to society, and you can't have your freedom no more.
Well, you institutionalized, you don't want your freedom.
Right. So just for your own sake, make a damn decision, man. because you know what I'm saying, law enforcement is gonna do it for you if you don't. You know.
I saw something when one brother said it was like there was jail guys that were going to jail, and he said, "Yo, man, most dudes don't stop going to jail. Certain guys don't stop going to jail until they just tired of going to jail. Like, you know what I mean? Like one day just like I'm tired of going. I'm tired. Like, and I can see that in some my lifestyle with some of my friends and stuff like that. Like at some point in time, you got tired of going. And sometimes you get the opportunity. Like some guys, you come home and you fall into a good job or fall a good situation. Like so, in New York, a lot of brothers fall in construction. And like a champion, I don't know the name of the brothers, but there's a group of brothers that go around and like, you doing construction, you gotta have black people, people from the neighborhood working the construction site. You know what I'm saying? Like I forget what they call. They would go around and tell the construction site, like, yo, you're not gonna be building it. You gotta hire some of these people over here. And a lot of brothers got in construction different type of ways, so they got a good opportunity. And they was older, they was tired of going to jail, and then they was able to stay home. And then there's some brothers that continue to live, their life.
That's a great damn point, Dre. But let me just piggyback off of that. It's a simple fact that you said a couple minutes ago, they just decide not to do it. But also, can I add to that they saw another choice that they could make?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People like yourself, people like my two brothers who worked with them, who were willing to talk to them on a mature adult level. Like, look, I get how you feel, I get what's going on, but this choice is over here too.
Mm-hmm.
When you're ready for it, because that's the key to it, is when you're ready for it.
You know what it is? A lot of us get time though. Like we get that time to make it through. Like, but then there's some people that make that decision that makes them have to derail from that road real fast. Like some of us, through the luck, the grace, or whatever you was into, you was able to make it until you got it. You know what I mean? Like you was able to make it through until you started getting it more and be able to make better choices. Like it was a certain, and sometimes you wasn't built for it. Like I knew I just wasn't built to be in no jail. That's, you know what I mean? I just wasn't like, I'm not trying to be up in there. Like I'm not even trying to do nothing to be up in there really like that. Because I ain't got no time to be just sitting up in no jail all day. I like to be outside. Didn't I say earlier I want to be outside? I was outside. I was by myself. I was outside.
Wow.
I was with my crew. I was outside. I need to be outside. And I don't know. I need to go outside when I want to go outside.
Yeah. Well, Dre, let me ask you this, man. Let me ask you this, Dre. As long as you've been in this industry and everything, man, have you ever ran into a situation where, might have been a kid or a group of kids, man, who just absolutely, while they was locked up, they just absolutely kicked ass, and they was just like model citizens almost, man, but on paper they were just like menaces? Have you ever seen a situation like that?
Man, I can't even count how many times I've seen kids, but you be like, him?
Yeah.
Like literally when people say who he is or what he done, you be like, him? That dude? Like that's how you wouldn't even know unless you knew. You know what I'm saying? Like really.
In those situations, man, what's I mean, if you in a one-on-one situation like that, man, but what's your approach in dealing with those kids, man? How do you convince them to that the same behavior, the same personable guys that they are or whatever, they can translate that to the streets? How do you convey that message?
Well, a lot of brothers like that, they more advanced. You could just start feeding them the information, right? You can feed them the information a little different. Like, oh, I'm gonna print this out for you. Here's a little book for you, because they already kind of following the programs. They following directions already, so they more likely to even hear. You know what I mean? When you do a group, they more if they are following the rules, they're gonna listen. They're gonna sit there and listen. So they really absorbing everything that takes place in there. You know what I'm saying? So I try to take that opportunity. If I meet brothers like that, I try to give them information, build with them, try to talk about choices, talk about time. Like, hey, when you don't want to throw away your life, you don't want to be in jail at 45 for something a 17-year-old did. You can't conceptualize that time maybe, but you don't want that to be a circumstance over, like you kill somebody you didn't even know 5 minutes before you met them. You know what I mean? Like to put your life on the line for the things we put our life on the line for, you damn sure gonna get in there one day and be like, what the hell I done did?
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta be in jail. Like if you in jail putting your life on the line, you need to be like, I do that, I would do it again. But I understand circumstances, that's easier said than done. But I try to make that perspective, like, yo, you walk away, live another day. Walk away. Like sometimes you gotta walk away. If you ain't have a gun, what would you do? That's how you always gotta move. If I ain't have a gun, what would I do? If you got a gun on you, you gotta be like, if I didn't have a gun, what would I do? Would I think? If I walk in front of the store and one of y'all brothers there and be like, yo, little dude, you better have my money when you come out the store. I ain't got a gun, but like, I'm just gonna be thinking about how I'm not gonna give you my money, but not get pounded on. But if I got the gun on me, I might be like, who you talking to, dude? So you got to always be moving with that humility if you do find yourself with the weapon. I just think, but it's all about choices and thinking about, I always say, think about getting caught.
There is no shame in peace, man. No shame
the consequences, by all means, do it.
Well, I'll say something personally. Here's the thing: when I decided I could fight, that I had a stone chin, and I could throw bolos and shit like that, right? I still had the mind that I wanted to be a peacemaker because I understood what I could do. But see, here's the thing: when your life is surrounded by violence, and unfortunately, the three of us, it was surrounded by violence, and because I was the oldest, I had the biggest responsibility to like, yo, let's figure some shit out. You know what I'm saying? Not because my parents said this, but your life is around violence. No, my parents like, yo, you protect your brothers. That is your main job. You know what I'm saying? But when I knew, and I learned at an early age that I had a strong chin and I can throw them. I had hands. I already knew that I could slam you. There's not really no bullshit, not blowing no smoke. But the point is that everybody who knew me, I would find a way like, yo, even if I said, yo, I'll fuck you up, but I'm going to walk away. I mean, because I always chose peace when it was interaction with brothers, when it's dumb shit. Now, I always believed in revolution, though, because I was taught that. But
here's the thing.
It ain't no such thing as participating in a revolution if you don't have a plan afterwards.
Here's the thing with me, man. We're dealing with clowns like that, man. Trying to step to you and shit. You know what I'm saying? First thing that come up my mouth is, dude, man, really? You finna do some time or take a life or lose your life over petty theft, motherfucker? You really ain't in the place, man, to be doing what you trying to do. Why are you in the hood at this party store talking about robbing them, motherfucker? That's petty theft, man. You know what I'm saying? If you was really about that life and you try to get it, wouldn't you be somewhere else, or are you afraid to do that shit? You need to check yourself, man, and look at your surroundings, man. Who you trying to hype for? Who talked you into this bullshit? That's how I usually come at cats, man. On an honest tip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You trying to stick me up, dude. What made me different? You saw me in the store. You saw me pour change out my pocket, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Ice Cube said, can I go with you? I want to go with you. But
it's crazy, man.
It's just that I don't know, man. I don't know certain things I don't know because I haven't been put in that circumstance through the grace of God. So I don't know the desperation that maybe some of these brothers know. I don't know a lot. So I can't even begin to even think. Like I was blessed. I didn't like they have something called the ACE study. It's the Adverse Childhood Experiences. That's the name of the study. And basically what they're saying is if you have all these different type of traumas that happen within your life, a lot of people they found that had these traumas actually have maladaptive behaviors later if they go unwarranted. So basically when I saw the list, they say look at the list and think about your life. How many numbers do you have on there? How many numbers do you have on the ACE? And I said, oh, what do you feel about yourself? I said, I feel blessed because I didn't have a lot of those traumas that that people are living with every day. So it's so many different things. I can't even speak. That's why I don't even try to judge it, because I can't even speak on the desperation, the different circumstances. I just know hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
People that are desperate do desperate things, and people that are desperate that don't know what they're going to do are liable to do anything. Right? If you don't know what you want to do, you could be liable to do anything.
Yeah. Hey man, I just took that training 2 months ago, and I got quite a few of those red flags, man. I was amazed.
Amazing.
You know?
That joint, and now they got it further where when they did the ACE study, they didn't have the traumas that really happen now in the Black community now that's so prevalent, like seeing violence outside the house, losing a friend, seeing death, seeing things outside the house, natural disasters, pandemics now, like all these different traumas that kids is walking around with, and who's helping them process that?
Yeah, walking past bloodstains on the concrete, man. Some people will just never know how to reconcile that, man. You never know.
Because even if you think it's the norm, that is PTSD. Like you take the movie Paid in Full, he's like, brothers get shot every day, eh? Like, pull your skirt up. Like,
hey, Keith.
That's PTSD.
Walking into our crib, we knew who bloodstain was who, didn't we?
No doubt.
From my dad to our uncles, we know who bloodstain was whose bloodstain.
Yeah. Hey, let me do this real quick, because I'm looking at this coming from the live on YouTube. Rob Noxious. I don't know if y'all see this, but
I can't see.
He said, so everyone is just a dick, and it's a dick measuring contest. He said it's sad. Who has the time for that? Now, I'm going to ask each one of y'all what y'all thought about that. And what I'm going to say is, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, Rob. But my thing is, what we're doing right now, what's occurring on this actual episode is we're talking it out. Of course, the four of us have our own opinion that we live by. But what we're doing is we're speaking on it to see if our opinion can be changed. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's how I feel. My thing is, I'm always learning. I'm always evolving into something. Every day I'll evolve into something more than who I am, who Keith Armstrong is. You feel me? Right? But when I found, which is maybe a decade or two ago, that I don't know shit, that I'm always learning, I'm always willing to listen to shit, even if I don't agree, because it might be the thing I need to hear. Now, anybody else, if you see in the comment, you want to comment on it. Now, understand, we ain't getting into no debate about it, but what is your opinion about what was said?
Now, everything in life is a dick measuring contest, man. That's just a simple fact. I mean, and it really doesn't hit us any harder than it does any other community, outside of the fact that we're still, a lot of times, especially our young people, are still trying to live up to standards that worked 50 years ago. Okay, yeah, those that baseline, man, is not necessarily a good or a bad thing, man, but it definitely gives you a jump off point, man. We all deal with anger, we all deal with aggression, we all deal with fucked up situations, we all deal with a sense of inferiority at some point in our lives or whatever, man. But for me, the key is governance, man. You deal with all those different emotions and situations, man. You see them as negative, but there's lessons in those situations. You got to be savvy enough to understand who you are and how you move within those situations. When you wake up in the morning, I don't think your first thought should be, whatever fucked up situation I happen to be in today, I'm not going to do anything to try to alleviate it. That's the thing that, the guys I work with, man, that's the thing that is really prevalent with them. They have no sense of, trying to pull back, even when they're wrong. If you're wrong, had the balls, man, be man enough to say, look, I'm wrong in this situation, brother, and I apologize to you. Don't make you soft. It helps you to live another day. Now, when you're dealing with that baseline, if you just can't, if saying I'm sorry just won't let you breach that baseline, then that's what it is. But if you want to move in today's world, you gotta be a little more fluid with your actions.
Okay. Dre, we're going to sandwich you in between Damon and Jaquari, so you go next, brother.
I think competition is, like Jabari saying, is natural amongst men in general, right? Boys and men. It's just natural. This is natural. But what happens is, what are you competing? What's the competition? So when you have the competition, be dancing, rapping, writing, swimming, running, drawing. Like, those are competitions because we naturally going to be competitive. But now that same competitiveness now comes with violence towards each other. And that's where that quote unquote dick measuring contest turns into a very negative thing. Because sometimes being a competitive nature could be a good thing for you. I think it's good for boys. Like, you know what I mean? But how it's pushed. Like, I remember I was in junior high school. The teacher used to give us credits or demerits. Like, so you messed up, you got demerit. If you gave you credits, you got the right answer. So I felt like me and my boys were just competing to get credits. But meanwhile, you only can get the credit if you got the answer right. So how many credits you got, son? How many credits you got? So by us all competing for the credits, indirectly we was learning, but it was still a measuring contest. It was a competition. So competition can be good. But the problem is, a lot of our competition and neighborhood competitions are at the end of a barrel or gun or, things of that nature. So it's the same thought process. It's just where it's playing out at, unfortunately. But and that's why if I understood the brother Rob the correct way, he was saying it's just sad that the dick measuring contest or whatever is leading to sad situations. But
No doubt.
it happens in all walks of our life. It's just that part that is sad. I would agree.
No doubt. Damon?
Well, with Rob, man, I would say I would need a little bit more reference, a reference point, man, to understand where you're coming from. So I really don't have that information, but I'm not gonna disrespect you by putting anything out my ass, man. I don't know. Everybody think different. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? If you think you're a man, you're gonna stand up for yourself. But on a personal note, man, whatever it is, man, that you're dealing with, that you're going through, I really don't know anything about it, so I can't really speak on it. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much all I gotta say, man. I don't have any reference point to work with, man. So,
But look, and I understand where you're coming from, Damon, but we appreciate your comments, man. Definitely do. So this is the point where what I want to do is, Andre, if you had the ear, in which you got a lot of ears that the kids listen to you, but if you had the ear across the country, when you're talking to our young, troubled youth, and they will listen to you, we give everybody the opportunity. What would you tell them?
Well, just in general, talk about them. I would say, you give yourself a chance. Like, be around to find your greatness. Be around long enough to find your greatness. Really, at the end of the day, don't make a decision today that you find your greatness in a place you can't apply it. Tookie Williams, I guess he started the Crips back in the days, one of the Crip founders and things of that nature, got put on death row, what have you. And then he goes on death row and starts writing gang books about, staying out the gang, and gets nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
That's greatness, right? But he had to find his greatness on death row. Be around long enough to find your greatness. Like, just don't, everything don't have to be absolute. So that's one of many things I would say, but just time wise, everything's surrounded around time. Be around long enough to get that exposure to find your greatness. Everybody's born with a greatness. Some of us find some of it. Like we found, we're born with several talents. Some of them we will find. Some of them we will never know we had. I never played a cello, so I don't know if I'm gifted at it. But if I had exposure to a cello, I might find that I'm gifted at it.
No doubt.
Serena Williams and Venus Williams, like how we would have known they was great at tennis if nobody would have exposed them to tennis.
No doubt.
Be around long enough to find your greatness.
Okay. All right. Well, look, we're gonna stay with you, Dre, because what we're gonna do the last word. We're gonna end with you, Damon, so you can give us the speak on the strong segment of this situation. But Dre, any last words? What's on your heart? What you want to say? You want to give our audience before you go?
Well, I want to thank y'all for the opportunity to be on here, to rock with the strong brothers. I love y'all brothers, known y'all for a long time. Me and Big Dog Boy. Sure, I thought we was going to get into the story, son, but that's the next episode where we
Listen.
go into
Hold on. Hey, Dre.
You know what I mean?
Hold on. Look, this is your first time, so I held back.
That's what I'm saying.
If you want to talk about something, we can talk about something real quick if you want to. It's entirely up to you, brother.
We had some laughable moments, some wild, funny moments. You know what I'm saying? Some real laughable stuff. So it was, we older, we wisdomed up, but son, we had some moments, brothers. You know what I mean? But I would say everything that you see is not what it is, meaning that don't let the magnification of the negative make you miss out on the positive. So that's what I would say to everybody. Don't get so caught up paying so much attention to the negative that you think that everything is the negative, when that's just a small minority of people and the way people interact. So I say that's my advice to anybody. That's why I say in closing, like, dwell on the positive and just deal with the negative. But just dwell on the positive. That energy will do us wonders as a people. If we all walking around dwelling on the positive and just dealing with the negative, I'm not saying avoid the negative, but just always seeing what's not good. There's more good shit happening than not. But we're not paying attention to it. You wake up like it's fucked up day. Oh, how you did? Oh, my day messed up. You woke up. Somebody woke up dead in the motherfucker today. Didn't that community said that? Like,
you understand? Real
Let's
talk.
start a good day. You know what I'm saying? So I would say don't let, we're in a time, the pandemic. I think that's the first time, our lifetime for sure, that it was something that everybody had to kind of depend on everybody, no matter what you thought your science was. It's not a fact. It's a fact that people died. So somehow we had to, at least, if that was an opportunity to show that we can come together with a common cause for the better of us, we need to do it. So that means we'll fall for one, fall off for one. You know what I'm saying? Say hi. It don't cost no money to say hello. You know what I mean? When I first went to Pittsburgh, that's what was different in Pittsburgh. I walked by, brothers was like, "What's up?" They wasn't saying it the way they were saying, "What's up?" Like, hi. And I was like, "Yo, dude, what's up out here?" Why everybody saying what up? Fuck that? What's that about?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Dre.
Waving in the car when they drive by you. I'm like, what is this? This is Happy Land down here.
Look, it happened the same way when I moved down here to North Carolina. It was the same way. I was amazed by that.
And that's the love that we need to bring that back.
Yeah.
I asked my wife when we first moved to Alabama. I asked my wife. I said, "Do I have to wave at every goddamn body, man?" You know what I'm saying? Because everybody I passed was waving, dog. And I'm like, "All right, whoever you are." You know what I'm saying?
It was like, is that big? Who's waving? They ain't big, dog. Like, they know me.
Yeah.
And I made it a point to get to know every last person that waved at me on a consistent basis.
Damn right. Damn right.
I made it a point to get to know every last one of them. Their names, their kids' names, all that.
It changes you as a human being, man.
It does. It changes the energy out there too.
Yeah.
Now when I was living in New York, I was living on the floor. I don't know if I spoke to anybody. I might only knew 2 people lived on the whole floor.
Yeah.
It came that way.
Yeah.
So
Jaquar,
we need that energy back, like that. We see each other, and it's not intense when we see each other. It's love. Like, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? What's up, bro? What's up, sis? Or however you go about that. So
yeah, no doubt.
be happy, man. You only here for as long as you know you're gonna be here, and to walk around all mad and just carrying all that anger and all that. You know what? I ain't the one. I ain't doing it. If you choose to do it, man, I hope you can come out of that.
Yep.
And look at
Jaquar.
I'll tell y'all a funny story real quick. When I was down there down in Detroit when my mom was living, I held the door open up for the sister at I think it was pizza joint. I hold the door open. I said, "You're welcome." She was like, "Motherfucker, I ain't asked you to open the door for me." I said, "Okay." Sat down waiting for my order. She came out with a box full of shit. She turned around and looked at me. I was like, "Bitch, open the door by yourself." I ain't calling her a bitch, but I said you better bag up and open the door yourself because I ain't opening it for you.
Burnt the bridge.
I ain't calling no bitch though.
Yeah.
Burnt the bridge. You ain't know you had to cross.
Hey, Jaquari, last word, brother.
Hey man, once again, Dre, I appreciate you, man, and I thank you for taking, making time to come and fellowship with us, brother. And I look forward to having you back.
I appreciate it, man.
Oh yeah, you coming back?
Well, I'm coming back, man. I'm coming back. Y'all have me back. I'm back, but we going in this time. This was just going in. Sorry, Barry.
No. This is a Dre heavy. We learn. Look, the people out there learning about you. We know you. They learning about you. So this is why you see we ain't panicking. We asking the right kind of questions, my man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I ain't even questioning y'all the thing. I'm just saying next time we come, we in. Go ahead. We was in this time. I say that all in jest.
Just reinforcing the statement that I made earlier, man. Young men. I was you, and you can be me, bro, for real. That's the case for everybody on this panel. Your today is building blocks for you tomorrow. Let's go to work.
Real quick on my part. Look, I said I did this twice earlier. I'm gonna do it again. Last time. I need everybody to understand that everybody that we have on this podcast has either asked us or we sought after, because we knew that the people that would come on and what they would share with everyone was meaningful. Meaning that I can honestly say, I'm not sure my brothers will concur, but I can honestly say these are strong people.
Excuse me for a minute.
Things in life. You understand what I'm saying? See, that's the thing. And I'm not talking about, hey, look, I'm an ex-basketball player. I got friends that played in the NBA, got friends that played in the NFL, right? And I'm not throwing it out there to try to floss. What I'm saying to you is this. Everyday people doing great things have appeared on this podcast. And you heard them open up to you as human beings. And what we're trying to do on this podcast is to plant the seeds to understand. Let's normalize conversation again. Because this is a platform to normalize it now. Yeah, we can get on here and sensationalize. Like Dre said earlier, which is going to be another episode. We can sit up here and wild out. Corey, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Corey, we can wild out. But guess what? That's another comedic podcast, another comedic episode. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I wanted to make sure that Andre had the opportunity so his family can see him open up. Even though I know, because he's a talkative dude, I know they hear a lot of the things that he said today. You feel me? He knows how to express himself, right? But everyone that's been on our podcast has not been able to do that. But we try to make you comfortable enough to be able to do so. Now, if you don't say it verbally, you feel it. Your energy has changed. You feel that on the inside. And that's our goal. As long as you feel it, we good. Good. You know what I'm saying? And that's my last word. Look, I extended it because my man, he had to do some old man things. You know what I'm saying?
I got the pee.
But look, Damon.
What's up?
It's on you, brother. You bring us on home, man.
Man, when I was listening to us tonight, man, all of us had that experience, man, with working with young people, and bringing our own different skill sets to the picture. And I would like to think that I made a difference. I don't know, but what those young people got from me was honesty, man. You know what I'm saying? They got the real me. One particular time they were talking about, I was talking to a bunch of kids, and I mentioned the fact that, man, I can't go to prison, man. That ain't in my makeup. I can't do it. Mr. Armstrong, man, I could do 10 on my head, man. You scared of prison? I let them all talk, and all of them, they, they were pointed. Everything was pointed at me because they thought I had fear of going to prison because of who was there. So I stopped and I said, hey, man, I don't fear no man walking this planet. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got a gun or a knife. You know what I'm saying? I don't fear it. What I fear is having my freedom taken away from me, man. Because if you have your freedom taken away, that's all your dreams, man. That's your family. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine being locked up and you have a grandbaby? Can you imagine being locked up and you lose your father and can't go to the funeral? You see what I'm saying? And that's all those things that you have to internalize. And that is a loss, not just your freedom, but that thing, man, that connects you to your loved ones, man. And because your ass is locked up, you cannot experience that. You cannot have that. It's going to always be something that's going to make you feel like you missed out on the most important things in your life. So as I explained that to them, they got quiet as hell. And I was like, see how you guys jumped on? Oh, okay, we trying to pick up a weakness with Mr. Armstrong. I was like, no, I don't. With no weakness. That's an awareness, man. You know what I'm saying? I just left the college, not mentioning any names or whatever. I worked with sex offenders, man, for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And these young cats, they're going to be on papers until they're in their 50s. Still locked up. You understand what I'm saying? Still locked up, still having to pay to toe that line, to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? They'll never know. At 14, 15, 16, 17, they'll never know what true freedom is. And y'all cats coming out of the hood and all that stuff, at least you had an opportunity to try to at least experience it. Brother Dre traveled the world. That's freedom. That's bringing things to his personal life, brings perspective to that. That's why I asked the question, man, how did you bridge that cat from a cat who never left the hood and you seeing the world and worse conditions that he experienced every day? You know what I'm saying? That experience is relatable. And it's something that you could bring to other people, man, who can imagine it. If you can tweak their imagination, damn, you know, I would love to go to Ghana. You know what I'm saying? What is Ghana for me? Ghana is the opportunity to go somewhere where I ain't got the color of my skin don't matter. I can deal with all the other bullshit. But if I could be a black man in a country where all of us is black and I ain't got to worry about bullshit, that's worth it for me. And we all know people who live and die with that shit, man. Never knowing how it feels to be free of their blackness. You know what I'm saying? And just be a man. You know? And I hope one day, man, I can experience that. I hope one day I can experience that and know what that feels like. You know. And that's basically all I got to really say, man.
No doubt. I wanna thank stay on, man. When we go offline, we're gonna take about 5-10 minutes, Dre. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. Look, I want to acknowledge. I always do it with the comments. I always acknowledge who came in. Rob Noxious. I don't even know if I'm even pronouncing that right. Good questions, man. You know what I mean? Corey, you know. Great job. Kyle, good looking out, man. You know, thanks for tuning in, the whole 9. But understand, go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe to our shit, and share it with people that you think is going to help. Because what we do is it's a conversation. Now, if it don't change your life, it don't matter. It don't change your life. But what it does is it gives you a framework on how to have strong personalities have a conversation with each other. Because I guarantee the 4 people that you see on this screen and you've seen in the past, they were strong personalities being alphas in their own. But guess what you saw? You saw us having conversation. You feel me? Dre, again, brother. You know, thank everybody who tuned in. Any last second word for you guys, man?
I'm good, bro.
God bless. Ofafo.
Hey, he got some good shit. Ofafo1995.com, baby. OFAAFO 95. Go see it. Get with it. Great
You gotta get my
clothing.
camera angle.
You know what I'm saying? Artistic clothing. Go check it out, people.
My brothers, man. My brothers.
This is Strong Perspective Podcast. This has been another great Friday. Excuse the echo in the early part of it. Be patient because the shit gets real and it gets better. Peace out.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.